They convicted Marcus Doyle of murdering his neighbor in the fall of 1994. The jury took 90 minutes. He got life. Then, 22 years later, a records clerk digitizing old evidence found a reel-to-reel tape mislabeled in a flooded annex, the full, unedited interrogation. Not the summary, not the transcript read aloud at trial, the actual tape. So why does the confession jurors heard bear almost no resemblance to the one on that reel? The official story was simple, and it held for 2 decades. Doyle, 26, lived next door to the victim. After 11 hours in an interview room, he signed a 4-page statement admitting to the killing. Detective Raymond Kessler testified that Doyle broke down and confessed in his own words. The prosecution had no murder weapon, no forensic match, no eyewitness. What it had was the confession, and a jury willing to believe 11 hours meant honesty, not exhaustion. The defense objected to the length of the interrogation. The judge allowed the statement anyway. Case closed. Sentence: life without parole, Bell County Correctional, Cell Block D. The tape sat in Property Room 3 for 22 years, logged as Exhibit 14, duplicate, damaged. In 2016, a clerk named Teresa Ruiz was cataloging analog evidence for digital transfer ahead of a facility move. The reel was warped from water damage but playable. She expected background noise, maybe a dropped call. Instead, she heard 2 voices, Doyle's and Kessler's, for 4 hours before the signed statement was ever drafted. Somewhere in hour 3, Kessler says the words, "The knife went in the kitchen drawer, didn't it?" A pause. Then Doyle repeats it back, almost word for word. That detail, the drawer, became the centerpiece of the written confession jurors read. On the tape, it isn't Doyle's memory. It's Kessler's script and Doyle just returning it. The trial transcript never mentioned a drawer being fed to him. The written statement presented it as something Doyle volunteered unprompted, proof he'd been at the scene. Prosecutors argued no innocent man could know where the knife was hidden unless he'd put it there himself. The tape shows the opposite. He knew because he was told twice before he said it once. Every other unknowable detail in that confession, the busted porch light, the time on the kitchen clock, appears the same way, fed first, echoed second. The written statement compressed 11 hours into 4 pages and erased every question that came before each answer. What the jury read as a confession was, on tape, closer to dictation. So why did this tape survive when the property log says it was destroyed in March 1995? Kessler's own signature is on that destruction order. But someone in the property room that spring apparently just shelved the reel instead of erasing it, maybe by accident, maybe not. Nobody was ever deposed about it because nobody outside that room knew the tape existed. It was never subpoenaed. You can't demand evidence the record says is already gone. But the tape wasn't the strangest part of what turned up in 2016. Filed behind it in the same box was a polygraph examiner's report dated 4 days before Doyle's confession, never disclosed to the defense. Doyle had passed. He'd specifically been asked if he killed his neighbor, and the examiner's notes read, "No deception indicated." That report should have gone to Doyle's attorney under disclosure rules. It never did. And here's the detail that circles back to the beginning. The reason the confession sounds different on tape isn't just the feeding, it's that Doyle's voice, in the hours after that polygraph, keeps saying, "You already know I didn't do this." Kessler's reply, 4 separate times, is inaudible on the recording. Someone speaks over him. Then the pattern interrupts. Kessler wasn't fired, wasn't disciplined, and by 1997 was training incoming detectives in interview technique. 2 of his former trainees later had confessions thrown out in unrelated cases for near-identical scripted detail patterns. Kessler was never the outlier. He may have been the method. Doyle's attorneys filed for a new trial in 2017 using the tape and the polygraph report. The DA's office fought the motion for 3 years, arguing the tape's chain of custody couldn't be verified after 22 years in a flooded room. The same room their own destruction order had certified as empty of it. A judge ultimately vacated the conviction in 2021. Doyle was released, not exonerated. The distinction matters because conviction vacated leaves the actual question untouched, unanswered, permanently open. Nobody has explained why that property clerk shelved a tape marked for destruction instead of destroying it. If she hadn't, there'd be nothing to find. So the question isn't just what the tape proved. It's how many other reels, in how many other flooded rooms were actually destroyed on schedule, exactly as ordered.